Anyway, I'm so excited. I read this book in 4 days and then just didn't talk about it on this account for a month. Whoops. I talked about it on Twitter. I posted a few times on my story, both on this account and my other account, about losing sleep over this book. I had a hard time putting it down. And I'm a sucker for fake dating, so like fake dating, fake queer dating with trans main characters, are you kidding me? I just want to make a note, the dedication at the beginning of the book is to every trans person who ever believed they were too complicated for a love story, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet, as seen in that video. And the more I read it, the more I was like, oh, you were talking to me. Self-sabotage comments were a little loud. You could lower your voice. But also, like, thanks. If you follow me on Twitter, you've probably already heard me say this, but it got to a point where my friends and I were saying, like, Mason Deavers in my walls. They're just listening in on my life. You know what, Mason? I know what you're gonna say. But guess what? I'm in therapy and you're not. So you don't get to say shit. Also, can I make a quick note that, I have a 10-year difference between me and my sister and divorced parents. Like, what are you even doing? Seriously, I'm 18, my sister just turned 28. She moved out when she was 17. What? I told her about this too and she was like, oh damn. So I like really enjoy like Neil recognizing that he is also in the wrong here. Like, people are treating him pretty shitty, but like how he saw the situation is not necessarily the only way to view the situation. Like his relationship with his mom being difficult and how she reacted to him going off the rails and doing stupid shit. Like, she didn't react the way he wanted her to, but she was doing the best she could. A hard thing to remember when it comes to your parents is that even if they react poorly in situations, they are doing their best. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to forgive them for hurting you, but like remembering that they are human too and they make mistakes. Sometimes you can forgive them and have a relationship with them, and sometimes you can't. The whole thing with his mom not standing up for him when he gets misgendered, it's like, those are her parents. They're your grandparents, but those are her parents. How do you feel about talking to your mom about this? Again, it hurts. It doesn't make it okay. It does bring up a good point that the situation is complicated. That's just like one small part of the story. I need to make like a whole part just about Wyatt and Neil now. You know, I said I was gonna make a video about Wyatt and Neil, but the more I talk, the more I realize I'm just talking about Wyatt. So for the most part, I'm just gonna be talking about how much I love Wyatt as a character. First of all, in terms of like main love interests in books I've read, I think Wyatt is one of my favorites. Like, they're definitely up there. Second of all, let's go back to the whole Masons in my walls thing. How the hell did you know how I describe my relationship with gender? Because Wyatt said the exact same thing. Just like how it changes. It's like, okay, so one moment I feel like content with being perceived as masc and I like feeling masc, and other times I feel femme and I want to be perceived as more feminine, and then sometimes I just feel like a genderless blob. Like, yeah, literally same. And you know, I know it's the literal bare minimum, but it just, same thing with I wish you all the best when Ben came out to their sister and then they immediately were like, so what are your pronouns? But like when Wyatt kind of talks about their relationship with gender and then asks Neil to use they them pronouns, and they do it like immediately, like even in their internal monologue, it made me so happy. I tabbed that part too. I'm moving on from that. Wyatt is such a sweet person. What the fuck? They just fixed Neil's suitcase after Neil was a total dick about it. Neil was like, no, fuck off. And they did it anyway. And the progression of their relationship was just, because obviously Neil was a dick to Wyatt, like from the get-go. And I mean, like, Wyatt sasses Neil sometimes, but they are often very kind to Neil. And with that being said, man, when they got together and then Neil just spiraled and again, like, went off on Wyatt, and Wyatt was so patient and was like, what's going on? Like, Neil says some hurtful shit. Wyatt knows better. It's like, you hated each other 3 days ago, but you pay enough attention to know that this is this is Neil spiraling. That there's something more going on. My heart. You know, like the whole big romantic gesture thing, it's super cliche, but I like that Neil went through this whole thing. He didn't go to the wedding, he booked a plane ticket and flew out and just showed up at Wyatt's house, and Wyatt's response was, what? It's, like, it seems romantic, but if it actually happens, it's kind of like, huh? And then in the end, what, like, won Wyatt over was Neil going out and buying sheets and lights and plants and then just setting up music so they could have that dance. It's like, it's not exactly small, but it's a lot smaller than not going to a wedding and flying out in the middle of the night. That just made me happy. Plus communication, because oh my god, nothing drives me insane more than miscommunication. Also the I love you at the beginning and at the end, it all coming full circle, I'm a huge sucker for that shit. Yes, that's what I got for you.